Ethan Carter checked his watch while standing outside a quiet Italian restaurant in downtown Seattle. He had matched with Emma through a mutual friend's introduction. After weeks of friendly conversations and shared jokes, tonight would finally be their first date. He carried a small bouquet of white lilies, hoping the evening would begin perfectly together. The hostess greeted Ethan warmly before leading him toward a cozy corner table beside a large window. Halfway there, he suddenly stopped walking. Two women sat waiting together at the same table. Both smiled politely as he approached. Ethan immediately wondered whether he had accidentally walked toward the wrong reservation by complete mistake. One woman stood first. "Hi, I'm Emma," she said with a friendly smile. Before Ethan could fully respond, the second woman laughed softly. "And I'm Grace, her older sister." Ethan looked between them, completely confused. Grace smiled knowingly before adding, "Don't worry, we know this isn't what you expected either tonight." Ethan laughed nervously while taking his seat. "I'll admit, this is definitely the most surprising first date I've ever experienced." Emma smiled apologetically. "I know it looks strange. Please let me explain before you decide to leave." Ethan nodded politely, curious enough to hear whatever unusual story had brought both sisters together that evening. Emma explained that she and Grace had always been extremely close after losing their parents several years earlier. Grace had become both sister and guardian, supporting Emma through college and difficult moments. Although Emma had dated before, every relationship ended badly because people often misunderstood the importance of their unusually strong family bond. Grace quietly interrupted. "I didn't come to judge you or embarrass anyone," she explained honestly. "Emma only asked me to meet you for 15 minutes. After that, I'll leave and you two can enjoy your evening." Ethan appreciated the honesty. Instead of feeling tested, he admired how openly they communicated with one another. The conversation quickly became surprisingly comfortable. Grace asked Ethan about his work, hobbies, and family without sounding interrogative. Ethan answered sincerely while occasionally making both sisters laugh. He noticed Emma watching quietly, smiling whenever his natural personality appeared instead of rehearsed first-date politeness or exaggerated attempts to make a perfect impression. After 20 minutes, Grace checked her watch before standing. "I promised I wouldn't stay long," she smiled. Before leaving, she looked toward Ethan. "Take good care of my little sister tonight." Ethan smiled respectfully. "I'll certainly do my best." Grace thanked him warmly before quietly leaving the restaurant without another interruption whatsoever. Once Grace disappeared, Emma relaxed noticeably. "I'm sorry if that seemed unusual," she admitted. Ethan gently shook his head. "Actually, it showed me something important." Emma looked curious. "You care deeply about family, and your sister cares deeply about you. That's not something I'd ever criticize." Relief immediately softened her worried expression. Dinner continued naturally afterward. They talked about favorite travel destinations, childhood memories, books, and embarrassing school experiences. Hours passed surprisingly quickly. Neither noticed the restaurant gradually emptying around them because conversation flowed effortlessly without awkward silence. Ethan realized he hadn't smiled this much during a first date in many years before tonight. Walking beside the waterfront afterward, Emma confessed she nearly canceled earlier that afternoon. She feared Ethan might misunderstand her decision inviting Grace. Ethan laughed gently. "Honestly, I almost turned around when I first saw two people waiting." Emma covered her face playfully before laughing alongside him beneath the glowing evening city lights together. As weeks passed, Ethan and Emma continued seeing one another regularly. Occasionally, Grace joined them during family dinners or weekend celebrations, though never unexpectedly again. Ethan gradually understood why the sisters remained inseparable. They had survived tremendous hardship together, creating a bond built upon loyalty, sacrifice, and unconditional support through life's greatest challenges and uncertainties. One afternoon, Ethan helped Grace move furniture into her new apartment after receiving a promotion requiring relocation nearby. While carrying heavy boxes upstairs, Grace smiled thoughtfully. "Can I tell you something?" Ethan nodded. She continued quietly. "When Emma asked me to join your first date, I expected you to become annoyed within minutes." Ethan laughed. "I almost did, mostly because I thought I'd entered someone else's reservation." Grace smiled before continuing. "But you stayed calm, respectful, and patient. That told me more about your character than any answer during ordinary conversation ever could." Ethan appreciated her honesty, understanding the unusual evening much better afterward together. Months later, Ethan proposed to Emma beneath the same waterfront where they shared their first long walk together. She happily accepted while Grace watched from a respectful distance, quietly celebrating the beautiful moment. Afterward, Emma hugged her sister tightly before introducing Ethan's family to Grace, officially bringing two caring families together with warmth and gratitude. During the wedding reception, the best man joked about unforgettable first dates. Everyone laughed when Ethan proudly announced, "Mine came with an unexpected bonus guest." Emma smiled while Grace raised her glass playfully across the room. The story instantly became everyone's favorite memory because it reflected humor, honesty, and genuine family love instead of unnecessary drama. Years later, friends still asked whether Ethan felt awkward, arriving for a first date only to discover both sisters waiting together. He always smiled before answering exactly the same way. "For about 5 minutes, yes. After that, I realized I wasn't meeting two strangers. I was meeting the family that would eventually become my own." Looking back, Ethan understood that love rarely followed perfect expectations. Sometimes surprising beginnings revealed important truths, impossible to discover through ordinary circumstances alone. That unusual first date taught him lasting relationships weren't built only between two individuals. They also embraced the families, friendships, and values shaping the people we choose to love forever.